Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ill Factor from beatacademy.com. Now, previously on a video on my channel, I was listening to a song and gave you my personal feedback and commentary and shared some music production tips while listening. And I was really encouraged by a lot of the positive feedback that I've been getting from you guys. So I decided to do another one. And in this video, we're going to be doing suburban songs called Cradles. So let's take a listen together.
I live inside my own world of make-believe.
Really cool. So just that texture that we hear at the very beginning, that nice little riff that we've got going on. So that nice riff is almost, sounds like it's being ran through an amp simulator and maybe even a cabinet simulator to simulate something that would be ran through an amplifier and then through a cabinet. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a guitar. It actually kind of sounds like a piano or some kind of melodic keyboard line that is being ran through that specific plugin. And you could hear it right there. There's some overtones. Ding, ding, ding. And then we're just introduced with the nice, in-your-face drop kick of the lyrics, and the kick and everything comes in there all at once.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink.
So really interesting. Right when we come in, we've got the nice sub bass at a good low octave, and then the second half here, we're seeing that low or octave sub bass just switch a whole octave up. And what it did was it just transferred that energy without the low end. Whenever you mute the sub bass on your track, you just feel like almost the energy is just gone out. And so what I'm really liking about having that happen there, what's going on is that taking that sub bass a whole octave up is adding some tension and suspense because it just took some of the energy out, but yet it did something just really cool texturally and sonically with having the bass go a whole octave up. And then so you hear that contrast with the bottom end just being heavy, and then it just goes right up so that there's no energy on the lower end of the spectrum, but it's still the bass line is still just haunting from the back and doing its thing there.
Ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Dang, I almost broke my neck. That's dope. That is really dope. Let's take a listen. So a couple things I want to just focus on. The vocal, just all around vocal, not saying anything about the vocal performance. It's doing what it needs to do. It's creating that haunting, very mysterious, dark tone and tonality overall. I'm pretty sure this is probably the artist himself, Suburban. But what it does is just, it really should be an encouraging thing for you. If you're an artist and you're just kind of like very timid and shy about you yourself placing vocals on your own production, out of the necessity of just getting vocals on there, I would encourage you that we have so many different ways of uniquely masking your vocal, and there's plenty of pitch correction software out there and really cool things that you can do, and this just kind of builds confidence for you to just put the delivery that you're looking for. What I'm trying to get at is this is out of necessity, just because I couldn't I would make beats and I would send them out to people to just write and sing their parts on there, and every time I'd get some of those back, I'm like, man, that's really not what I was looking for. I'm looking for something more like this, or the delivery should be more like this. And so I would just put it down on my voice memos. And sometimes I would just get a mic, track my ideas down. And what I started to notice, doing that enough times, I just built up the confidence to be like, you know what? I'm just going to put my own vocal on here, do my own little manipulation, and just run with it. And so, not saying that that's the case, lack of self-confidence with this artist. But something to consider and something to take note, that you can start doing that if you're in that same boat. Like, man, I don't feel comfortable yet in my own skin with my own vocals. Just try maybe just sampling a little bit of yourself, maybe just saying 2 bars of something or something like that, and just working your way to building enough confidence like that. Let's talk about this crazy section over here.
Hush.
So love that instrument that we're hearing there. So that is a music box or type of music box sample, whether he's using a third-party instrument. But love that little. So it sounds like it's arpeggiated, but more so could very well be that the sample, maybe it's like a music box sample, and there's a strum or a triplet, and within that sample he's just placing that strategically, so you get that nice diggling, diggling, diggling thing happening, diggling thing. Right? But let's keep going. So awesome contrast. We've got the music box sample centered and more towards the mid, and then in the next section of the chorus it just widens up. And what I mean by that is you're either using like a Haas effect with a delay, and what I mean by that is maybe getting a stereo delay and hard panning it left, right, panning the signals hard left and hard right, and making one side slightly different than the other as far as timing goes and milliseconds and things like that. And that's going to really create this nice wide stereo image with that sound. So something that I love what's happening here is first half of that drop, we've got the music box element more in the middle, and then second half widens it just straight out in your face wide, and that just it just does something sonically, and takes you, it takes your ears on that sonic journey there.
Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the crate.
So really great use of these pauses and these drops, because man, they do such a great job of creating this nice tension and release. All these little the sections where he's like hush and all these things, they're so great. And these are the kind of tracks that I listen to and I'm kind of like start punching myself in the face, like, dang man, why didn't I make a track like this? I love this vibe, but what it starts to really, and I always remind myself, I know why I don't really do a lot of this stuff. It's because my ADD doesn't allow me to kind of sit there and really work out a lot of those intricate details of working out those drops. And so sometimes it's tedious for me, but it's well worth the effort when I go in and just work on the little small nuances, as like creating drops and empty spaces, so that when other sections come back in, it has much more of an impact.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Such a dope little breakdown. And once again, you see here these nice little these drops where it's just like, it's what I consider these drops to be are these great punctuations to your phrases, exclamation marks, boom. And it really does introduce the next phrase in nicely when you start to implement a lot of these things. This drop is remarkable, really great work. Let's just speed along over here.
I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension.
So now we've got the 808 with a nice variable pitch. So we're seeing a lot of glide happening there. Something you can do when you're using your 808s If you look into whichever sampler that you're using in any DAW, you can go to your pitch envelope. And if you just spend some time tweaking the pitch envelope of your 808 samples, you can get that nice glide effect when the 808 notes are triggered.
Get down, I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
Nice drop to the halftime there. So I think the original tempo is around 160 BPMs. And so I think we're either dropping halftime, maybe, or it's just continues. I don't know. Let's just keep listening, right?
Music till the wick burns out. Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Awesome stuff. So loving that slowdown there with the tempo. So we're doing some tempo automation, and in Ableton Live, that would look like just getting your right-clicking over to your tempo, your right-click over here, show automation, and then you can go ahead and draw in the tempo change there, where it would go from a 160 BPM, and maybe, you know, start putting another pointer here and just drop that tempo. So we're gradually moving down. But this feels like it just went straight to a halftime tempo change. So 160 over to just 80 BPMs and dropping it all in halftime there. Really cool effect because it just adds more to the overall mood. And that's something that we have to say is like, what's the overarching theme, mood, and just message that you're trying to get across? Not even if you're saying something vocally or lyrically, but emotionally. Like, what's the emotion you're trying to paint here through your music? And so even having that slow down thing, it just feels like just like this creepy circus type of thing with the music box happening, you know, like the little that little music box as the little rotating grinder thing is starting to slow down. So I definitely hear that, I feel that, and it does a great job broadcasting that emotion. And these are all cool things to consider in your productions. Like, you know, these are also great ways to help paint outside of the box. I've always talked about using references and having tracks that you can use as a reference point. But man, it's also great to have things that can inspire you to paint emotionally what you're trying to do with your music. So this is a really, really cool vibe here. Probably do a video down the road, just kind of recreating some of the things that we just mentioned in that. If you'd like to see that, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And I hope this video has been helpful for you as and encouraging as well. And my gift to you for watching this video is I'd love to send you a PDF guide that I've put together. And this is a guide that I'm sharing from my 19 plus years of experience of producing music for a living and working with some of today's biggest artists. I put this all in a guide called The 5 Steps to Making a Professional Beat. And this is a great thing that you can have. You can reference this to kind of help speed along your music production process. And this is yours absolutely free. Just click the link below in the description box to download this, and I'll send this to you right away. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.